the Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast with your hosts, Reese Downing and Jacob Workman.
What's up, everyone? It's the Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast, college edition. This is our week one bowl episode. We're going to be covering the games for this Saturday, the 16th through Monday, the 18th. Joining me as always, my co-host over there, the fine citizen, Reese. Reese, what's going on?
Oh, not too much, man. I am not suffering from SARS like you are, so I can't really complain.
Yeah, I've got H1N1, COVID, syphilis, AIDS, all hepatitises. I think I've got all kinds of issues going on over here.
All hepatitises.
A through L. So, yeah, if my voice sounds like shit, well, it does. It is better than it was. I'll tell you that. Couldn't even hear me a few days ago. Reese can attest to that.
Yes, I can confirm.
So, we're making some progress at least. We'll see what happens. Probably some mute buttons, probably some coughing. We'll see. So one thing I did do, went back and totaled our regular season totals from last year from this season. So to finish it off, just a second. I actually put a thing together for this. Let's see. No, well, that wasn't what I thought it was. Never mind. So I finished the season 183, 162, and 3, which was 53.04%. Reese was 175, 170, and 3. We both had the 3 pushes, and he was 50.72%. So that put me 21 games over 500. Reese was 5 games over 500. For the locks, I was 8-6 on the year, and he was 7-7 on the year. So overall, for our first year, picking 348 games, to both of us be over 50%, we're going to call that a win. I mean, it's not the world's best, but it's also not bad. So we were pretty satisfied with that. Reese, what are your thoughts on those numbers?
I mean, for me, extremely impressive. We've talked about this before. Up until this year, you definitely, and you still do, watch more college football than I do. But overall, for us to both be at or above 500 in both locks and overall picks, especially with the Muncie 6-pack being thrown into the mix, which makes things even more difficult because sometimes we're picking like Western Carolina and random shit like that. Overall, I'm really happy with how things went. I just want to make sure that we try to finish the season strong with the Bulls. So,
well, I think one thing that's been learned from the last couple years, the Bulls are impossible. So I think our bowl record, I am not worried about. There's so many. We thought the injury reports in college football were bad. Just wait till you see what happens in bowl games.
Oh, I know, with all the transfer.
Yeah. Well, half the team won't be playing. A coach he'll be done. Like it's crazy. So bowls have almost if it's not like the playoffs, bowls are almost irrelevant, to be honest. But we're still going to pick them because that's what we do. So, but don't put too much stock into our bowl picks until we get to the playoffs. And well, I wouldn't even say the New Year's Six, to be honest, because I don't think anyone's playing in those either. So, but yeah, the playoffs are going to be the big ones. But we are here to pick them, so we will be doing that. Before we get to that, we're going to do some transfer portal updates real quick. Dylan Gabriel from Oklahoma has committed to Oregon. Big Mighty Thor, we talked about him last week, from Harvard. He has committed to Louisville. Also going to Louisville, quarterback Tyler Shuck from Texas Tech, which was formerly of Oregon. Riley Leonard did commit to Notre Dame today. We had been talking about that for a few weeks, so Duke to Notre Dame. Big rumor I saw, Will Rogers from Mississippi State is going to be visiting Washington this weekend. A lot of rumors for him going there. Huge rumor for Florida State. Marvin Jones Jr., which when he was being recruited, came down to Georgia and Florida State, and it is very heavily rumored he's about to enter the portal, and I believe he's going to be enrolled. So that should be huge for us. Add another defensive end. We've had quite a bit of success with some transfer DN, so I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that. Also, more recruiting news. Dylan Raiola has all of a sudden been crystal balled back to Nebraska. He was kind of pretty much locked into Georgia, and one of the big things that has been helping him, Dominic Raiola, his dad, was a center for the Detroit Lions when Stafford was the quarterback. Stafford's actually been working with this kid and really trying to get him to Georgia. So I don't know what Matt Rule and Nebraska is starting to throw out, but clearly they have something going on over there with some corn money, I guess, because they're starting to swing quite a few guys, it seems, which will be interesting if that follows through.
Well, I read that Raiola's uncle is the O-line coach there at Nebraska, so he's got some ties there. From what I read, they're confident enough in the potential of him going there that they've contacted their in-state QB commit, Daniel Kalin, I think is his name, to let him know that they are in the running to bring Raiola to Nebraska. So they're basically telling him, like, look, if this happens, we'll still honor the deal that we offered you, but if Dylan's here, you're not playing. I guess it's good on Matt Rule and company for them to raise their hand and say, hey, this may happen. But at the same time, like, you would think that you wouldn't bring that up if you didn't think you had a real shot. And then the other name that I've heard with Nebraska is Kyle McCord.
Yep.
Which I don't really understand that from McCord's standpoint. Like, why would you want to stay in the Big Ten with the way that the Big Ten is going to look? Like, Nebraska's not winning the Big Ten championship anytime soon. It's confusing to me.
And I honestly don't know why they wouldn't want to play Raiola. Like, I wouldn't want to sit him behind McCord either. There's a lot of weird things going on there, and it's got to be an influx of booster money trying to really stir some things up there. But we've talked about that before with what the Big Ten's becoming. Like, you're going to need way more than that to be competitive. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens there. I'm not too sold on them, to be honest, but we'll see. I mean, you never know what can happen, I guess. Just to do another quick rundown through the
sheer amount of technical difficulties that we have had today has been nothing short of insane.
Yeah, I don't know what keeps going on.
It's the syphilis.
I know. I have all kinds of issues. So just to do a rundown of the top players still available. So Walter Nolan, defensive lineman from Texas A&M, still the number one player available. Gabriel did commit. Cam Ward, we're still seeing some stuff on him, maybe visiting Miami. Still Florida State potential. I'm guessing if Miami does want to throw the money at him, he might end up at Miami, which would really suck, but you never know. I mean, that's seeming to be the likely possibility at this point.
So I've still read a lot about his potential to go to Ohio State. The name that I've read for Miami has been Will Howard. He's visiting, I'm pretty sure, this weekend.
That would suck too, because I don't want Will Howard to go there, but we'll see what happens. I think Miami is probably going to at least be one of the few schools that will throw a ton of money at one of these quarterbacks. So we'll see what they can get out of that. Dante Moore, still haven't really seen where he's going to go yet. I'm still just looking through. Defensive end from Florida with quite the name, Princely Uman-Milan. No idea where he's going. Our guy Joey Slackman from Penn, we talked about him last week. Trevor Etienne is another guy I've seen potentially going to Nebraska, which I'm a big fan of Trevor Etienne. For being a Florida player, I've always liked what he's done. Obviously, he's Travis Etienne's brother from Clemson, now of the Jacksonville Jaguars. But Trevor Etienne's been very good for Florida, one of their few bright spots. Number 10 is DJ Uyunglele, potential Knoll. He is visiting this weekend.
Yep.
Still not huge on this, but like I said, maybe he'll prove me wrong. Grayson McCall, Coastal Carolina, still haven't really seen anything. Our guy Alan Heron from Shorter gave us the big history lesson on Shorter's conference. No commit yet. Thor committed to Louisville. Marley Cook, defensive tackle from Middle Tennessee. Outside linebacker Trey Moore from UTSA, the Roadrunners. An offensive lineman from Texas A&M, Chase Besantis, which he is just a freshman, 6'6", 320, so he'll be sought after heavily. Kyle McCord, we just talked about, potentially going to Nebraska. This is quite the name. He's leaving a DB from Clemson, Andrew Makuba. Says received offers from Oregon, Ole Miss, and Arizona State. And number 20 to round it out from Oregon State, Easton Mascarenas Arnold, the linebacker. So
bless you.
I know. We'll see where these guys all end up. I would like to think we'll get some pretty big portal news here. I would think by this time next week, we should have a lot of signings. So, especially with the quarterbacks. I've been kind of surprised at the slow movement of the quarterbacks, but I guess it's also the who's throwing all the money at who and who's going to actually commit where. See how it all rolls up. Last week, we introduced a new segment, kind of just randomly came up as we were just talking about with the guy from Shorter. We're going to call this Reese's Random Conference Guessing Game. Reese has added a new twist to it this week. Let me get this going. Be prepared for this. There it is. So we're going to play this music while we play the wonderful game here.
All right. Well,
so you take it from here and let's see what we get.
Yeah, and we're not going to give you the conference either. So we're going to kick things off here by just asking you if you can name the mascot, and then at the end of this, we will ask you if you have the ability to name the actual conference, which is going to be just as difficult because there are some burners in this one. So let's try it out. First team here is Central Missouri, and I will give you a hint for each one of these. Some of them are easier than others, and we'll see where he lands. Central Missouri is the first one. Their mascot is the offspring of a male donkey and a female horse.
What? No idea. Let's go the Mares.
You're damn close. It is the Mules. The Mules are a offspring of a male donkey and a female horse. The next team we have is Pittsburgh State. This is a nod to Coco and Harambe.
Are they like the gorillas? What?
Yes. Ding, ding, ding.
Hell
We got
yeah.
our first one correct.
Hell yeah.
All right. 1-1. Next up, we have Emporia State. Muggsy Bogues does not play for this team.
What was the school?
Emporia State.
Emporia
State.
The Giants.
No. It is the Hornets.
Oh, well, you said Muggsy Bogues does not play for the school, so I thought there was something. That's why I went with Giants.
I know. I should have thrown you off here a little bit. Not too bad. All right. Next up, we have Missouri Western. Their mascot is known to lay golden eggs, but it's not the Cadbury Bunny. It's a mashup of Philadelphia and Detroit. Known to lay golden eggs, but it's not the Cadbury Bunny. It's a mashup of Philadelphia and Detroit.
Yeah, well, all I can think of is the Philly Fanatic and the Lions. So I'm not sure they're Eagles in Detroit. Eagles, Lions. I don't think
you're there
laying eggs, but
you're there. It
an
is
eagle
a
and a lion.
It is a mashup of an eagle and a lion.
Oh, that's interesting. The Manitars.
Not too bad. It's the Griffins. The Griffins
are
a mashup. All right. Next up, we have Fort Hays State. Their mascot is the Silent Hunter. It can be found hunting deer in India or birdies in St. Andrews.
What? Oh, my.
The Silent Hunter. It can be found hunting deer in India or birdies in St. Andrews. Fort Hays State.
The Stealth Assassins.
Oh, man. You're just diving deep here. It's the Tigers. I thought for sure you would get that.
Definitely not getting that.
Yeah, okay. All right. We're going to blame that one on the hepatitis C. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Northwest Missouri. Also known as a binturong, it's not closely related to either of the animals in its name.
What was it? It was Southeast Missouri?
Northwest Missouri.
Northwest Missouri.
Which is way different than Southeast Missouri.
Yeah, you're right. The opposite. What's going on in Northwest Missouri? Let's go Razorbacks.
It is the Bearcats. The Bearcats. All right. Next up, we have Central Oklahoma. While these animals don't exist in scientific terms, they are popular in the Rocky Mountains, and you've heard one scream Omaha countless times.
Bronco?
Hey, there we go. We got one. We are 2 and 5 right now. Let's see if you can close it out here, although it does not get easier. I am going to give you a layup here. Missouri Southern State. Eat them up.
The Lions.
There we go. All right. We got 3 wins here. Next up, we have Northeastern State, which is different than Southwestern State. The Northeastern State team. It's a nickname for an osprey. This fish-eating bird of prey can have a wingspan of over 6 feet and may hunt for food in places like the mighty Mississippi.
A crane. A pelican. Who the hell knows? I don't know.
It's the Riverhawks.
Oh, yeah.
The Riverhawks.
On that one.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to get these 2, but I'm going to do my best to try to help you out here.
It's probably better without the hints, to be honest.
I don't know. These last 2 are dingers. Nebraska Kearney is the school. Described as a mashup of a moose, deer, and sheep in the Mascot Hall of Fame in Whiting, Indiana, this university's mascot name is Louie, but not for long. The school seems to have decided to put Louie to rest and is considering other mascots instead, despite many students being anti about the change.
A mashup of what?
A moose, deer, and sheep.
What the hell is going on?
That's the description that the Mascot Hall of Fame has.
I'm gonna go with the fighting Lemmiwinks.
You are damn close. It is the Lopers.
I see. I was close.
Yeah, you got the L right. So I'll give you a half point there. I'm gonna give you $100 if you get this one correct. Actually, no, I'm not, because I'm gonna. Yeah. All right, Washburn University, named after the American deacon and industrialist whose financial endowments led to the naming of the school. Washburn students began referring to themselves as this mascot in the late 1800s and officially gave the mascot an image in 1938. No relation to Mr. Crane.
Huh. I was gonna go with like the dollar bills or some shit like that, but I have no idea. That one's impossible.
It is impossible. They are the Washburn Ichabods. The Washburn Ichabods.
Jesus.
Tried giving you a little bit of a hint there with Ichabod Crane, but
yeah.
Well, all things considered, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You went 3 and 8 this week. Which
so let me take a shot at this conference name.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're in kind of the plains over to a little bit of the southeast. Does that sound right? I don't. Well,
yeah,
actually, was there a Pittsburgh State too, or something like where?
There is a Pittsburgh State. That is correct.
Are they even in Pennsylvania? That's probably not. So
that's a question for next week.
We're gonna call this the.
Just so you know, their location is in Pittsburgh, Kansas.
I figured. We're gonna call this the Great Winds Conference. WINDS wins.
WINDS. Okay, that's not correct. I'm gonna give you the acronym.
Okay.
MIAA.
Middle? No, it can't be middle. Municipal Indian Athletic Association.
Oh man, that's a hell of a guess, man. Hell of a guess. Unfortunately, you're incorrect. It is the Mid-America Intercollegiate Athletics Association.
Man, you know what's weird is when I was going to pick a name at the beginning, I was going to say Mid-American, but then I thought of the MAC and I was like, it can't be that.
You said middle, and I was like, oh, he's in the right place. And then you see from it.
Sucks.
Well, is it. That's it for this week's version of Reese's Random Conference Guessing Game. Workman is 3 and 9 if we count the wrong guess on the conference. So I will have a fresh new set of conferences next week. And maybe we'll make it slightly easier, and I'll pick a conference that is in D1, but you have to name every school.
Oh.
So maybe we'll switch it up a little bit. We'll figure it out, but not bad for your first round. You got 3.
Yeah, we're going to need to go. It's got to be football only, though. I'll struggle when we get into if it's basketball because they do switch a little. I can be all right for football.
I was going to do women's track and field, but we'll stick with football.
Yeah, I'll have no chance. the Manitars or whatever that one's called.
the one's called the Lady Lopers. So.
All right. So with that, we are going to get into our few games here. We got some bowl games to pick real quick. We are going to kick it off Saturday. We got the Myrtle Beach Bowl at Brooks Stadium in Conway, South Carolina, 11 a.m. on ESPN. Not a better time to start a bowl game than 11 a.m. in Myrtle Beach. Georgia Southern is a 3.5-point favorite versus my MAC Ohio team. Reese, what do you got here?
I'm taking Ohio. Georgia Southern lost their last 4 games to end the season. I think Ohio has better offensive weapons. So give me the Bobcats here plus the points.
Yeah, so interesting here. I'm pretty sure Georgia Southern's running back just transferred. I know we talked about Nathan O'Rourke transferring, but Ohio's backup quarterback played a lot of the year when O'Rourke was hurt. So I like Ohio plus the points here too. I think it's going to be a pretty close game. Next, we are going to the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl from the house that Jameis built, the Caesars Superdome, New Orleans, Louisiana, 2:15 p.m. on ESPN. Rich Rod and Jacksonville State -3.5 versus Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. What do you got, Reese?
Yeah, somewhat of a home game for Louisiana, but I think Rich Rod gets his first bowl win here with the Gamecocks. So I'm going to take Jacksonville State to get the W.
Yeah, I'm on Jacksonville State too. Liked what they did all year, and I don't see them really having a lot of guys sitting out this game, so they should be all right from that standpoint. So I do like Jacksonville State. Avocados from Mexico. Cure Bowl from FBC Mortgage Stadium in Orlando, Florida, 3:30 p.m. on ABC. We got Miami of Ohio versus App State. App State is a 6.5-point favorite.
Yeah, Redhawks did play well all season. Good matchup with Miami's defense versus App State's offense, but I'm going to go with the Mountaineers here minus the points.
Yeah, I'm kind of back and forth on this one. I think I'm going to take Miami. I like 6.5. I think that's too many. So I do like Miami here. The Isleta New Mexico Bowl from University Stadium in Albuquerque, home of Walter White. 5:45 p.m. on ESPN. New Mexico State is a 3.5-point favorite versus my Fresno State Bulldogs. Reese?
Yeah, another somewhat of a home game this time for New Mexico State. This one's tough because we don't know if Diego Pavia will be healthy for New Mexico, and Fresno is going to be without their coach. They didn't finish the season well. I think I'm going to go against your boys here and take Drury Kill's boys to win and cover.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever picked against Fresno, but it kind of seems like the situation we should. I think I'm going to take New Mexico State also. I don't see Fresno being able to handle this. Starco Brands LA Bowl from SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, 7:30 on ABC. UCLA is a 2.5-point favorite versus Boise State.
Well, Dante Moore's gone. So is DeAnton Lynn, who left for USC. So not great for the Bruins. While Boise State's been putting up almost 40 since Danielson took over, and he's fighting to keep that job. So I'm going to go with Team Smurf Terp here for an outright win.
Yeah, the issue with that is Taylon Green transferred to Arkansas, which was Boise's quarterback. So this is a lot of hit miss. Who knows what's going on here? I'm going to just play the talent aspect here, and I think UCLA is still going to have more talent. So I think I'm going to take UCLA to cover this one. The Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl from Independence Stadium in Shreveport, Louisiana, 9:15 p.m. on ESPN. Cal is facing Texas Tech. Texas Tech's a 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah, we talked a lot about Texas Tech this season. I'm sure they don't want that thumping they got from the Longhorns to be their final statement of the season. I think this is going to be a good matchup, but I'm going to roll with the Red Raiders here to get the W and cover.
I'm going to go Cal. I haven't seen a lot of transfer news from Cal, so I would think that we'd get a lot of these guys playing still. Cal's defense is very good, and their offense actually did put up quite a few points towards the end of the season, too. So I'm going to take Cal plus the points. Monday on, I'm dying. Monday, December 18th, we got the famous Toastery Bowl at Jerry Richardson Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, 2:30 p.m. on ESPN. Western Kentucky is facing Old Dominion, and Old Dominion is a 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah, one of these early bowls we need to get renamed to the TNT Podcast Bowl. I'm just going to throw that out there. This is a bitch of a draw for both teams because this game was supposed to be played in the Bahamas. Yeah. Where, even if you lose, you win. Now you're heading to dreary Charlotte. Good news for the Charlottonians is that if you've been pining to see some offense on a football field that isn't the team whoever is playing the Panthers, you should get that in this game. Austin Reed's been looking good the past few games. So I'm going to take the Hilltoppers here to get the win.
Yep, I am on the Fighting Towels also. Western Kentucky it is for me. All right, so it was a little abbreviated, quick little pick episode there. Next week, there is a game Tuesday night, so we will pick that first on our episode next week, and then the rest of next week. So there should be a few more games. Again, we'll finish up the portal. Hopefully, we got a lot more commits by then, and that's pretty much it. We'll just keep working towards the College Football Invitational. So, Reese, you got anything else?
Nope, I don't think so. I'll see if I can get you to get a little bit of a better score on the guessing game next week.
Yeah, if we do D1 and I just got to name the actual names of teams in the conference, I might be all right. There's some of those the mascots I'd probably actually struggle on, but I think I'd be all right.
Tune in next week.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. If it's too easy, then we'll go back to the Mid-Atlantic.
You already screwed it up.
Something.
Mid-American Intercollegiate Athletics Association. Put some respect on that name.
Yeah, I mean, when you got Pitt State and whatever the other schools were, Northwest, Missouri, I'm sure it's tough, whatever.
Every geographical navigation of Missouri has a university.
There's a lot of directions there.
But Washburn Ichabods.
Yeah, we should have got some more information on that. But all right. So that's going to wrap up the week 1 bowl pick episode. We will be back next week, like I just said, and then also tune in over to our NFL episode because that regular season is still going. So there's actually real stuff going on those episodes. So for Reese Downing, I am Jacob Workman, and that is it for the college episode. See you guys next week.
Cheers, guys.